Welcome to the 2025 Economic Depression and Preparation Channel. I'm your host, Tony, for this wonderful February 27, 2025 edition, Thursday edition. As we head toward the end of February here, ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot on the table that's happening every day, both in the economic and the political spectrum. We're going to be focusing on the economic spectrum, of course. Please be sure to hit that like button or subscribe to this channel for the latest interpretation of financial news as it becomes available. Appreciate all of you guys' comments and thoughts. Very insightful. And we're going to continue to push on here as one family here on this YouTube channel. Now, we're going to be talking about today about the Blackout Day, the National Blackout Day that's being planned for February 28th. A lot of people are talking about this online and offline about how Americans are planning to push back on the big conglomerate corporations by not spending any type of retail spending on February 28th, which is tomorrow, Friday. So let me know what you think about that. We're also going to be talking about the initial jobless claims hitting the highest level ever. Since the initial jobless claim hitting the highest level ever of 2025, since we had the things going on in DC with the layoffs, the federal layoffs, and other layoffs that are going on in the private sector with Southwest Airlines and other companies that are thinking about cutting as we get closer and closer to summer. We're also going to be talking about doomsday spending, how 1 in 5 Americans plan on doing doomsday spending this year to help bolster their supplies as we get deeper and deeper into getting closer to this recession, or I say even depression in this world. So let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Right now we have the article came out by Yahoo News Time magazine, why consumers are planning on an economic blackout in February 2028. Now, this is very interesting here because we know that the mall traffic has been dying. Even the outlet traffic has been dying in the premier outlets in many states and cities across the U.S. We know that online retailing, especially Amazon and Walmart, is trying to catch up to some of the online retailing, but Amazon is the king of the online space because they have everything in one place and they have 2-day delivery for most of the parts of the U.S. So we know that foot traffic is down in these areas. However, U.S. consumers are being encouraged to abstain from purchasing any, quote, non-essential goods. Notice it says non-essential goods here on February 28th as part of a 24-hour buying blackout that aims to showcase the economic power of everyday people. Remember, the U.S. economy is 70% based on spending, us spending and getting in debt, creating debt, or either creating debt or buying debt at any one point, and that includes Wall Street. Wall Street, they buy debt derivatives and things, mortgage-backed securities and all kind of other things. So the economy is theoretically based, 70% of that is based on our spending and getting in debt, whether that's creating loans or buying debt loans. It's based on that. So the push for the day of action comes from the People's Union USA, the People's Union USA. This is a movement that advocating for economic resistance, quote, and I quote, government accountability and, quote, corporate reform. So this group identifies as a nonpartisan entity and a movement for all. So they're asking everybody to participate in this day as a symbol of economic resistance. Now, where this goes from here, nobody knows. But the problem, they of course justify it by saying that the price of food has shot up nearly 10% year over year. You guys have seen that. People on my channel, we know that that's been happening for ever since before the pandemic. So probably about 6 or 7 years now. So that's pretty accurate. And now with the tariffs that are looming across countries of China, Mexico, and Canada, this also could be a problem. So people are boycotting stores such as Walmart, Amazon, Best Buy, basically the big box stores, Target, Kohl's, and specifically they're trying to not buy. These people are trying to not participate in the buying spree tomorrow. With those who also, people were saying on Twitter, for those companies that cut their, I guess, DEI initiatives or something like that. I haven't looked into that too much, guys, but I do know that President Trump has canceled all DEI initiatives and all of that stuff is gone. So that's what this organization is seeking, to try to put a dent in the wallet of some of these big corporate conglomerate oligarchy, agencies. And the article mentions that the DEI aspect. I'm not going to get into that, but I do want to say that the idea, they also have the second idea: if you must spend, only support small local businesses. So they're trying to stem the tide, and that's another idea too. When Walmart did come in, it did displace a lot of small local businesses, and that's a shame because we love the variety. I love the variety of going to a farmer's market or organic market or or going to a local hardware store. We used to have like stuff that was kind of like Ace Hardware Store. It wasn't exactly called that, but now you just don't have that kind of competition. You may have a Harbor Freight or something like that in your neighborhood, but you don't have you don't have those mom and pop stores, hardware stores, or restaurants as much as you used to because of Walmart, Amazon, Target, and the other big conglomerate stores that we've all gotten used to. So I think that's a good idea for those people who want to do that. Now, the U.S. initial jobless claims hit highest claim of 2025 as D.C. layoffs jump. New applications for benefits rose to 242,000 last week. This is continuing to go, and we're not creating jobs every month over month, guys. Remember, the numbers are revised the next month after. So we get the month on this Thursday. Today we got the numbers from last month, January, right, or last week. And then as we go into March, the February numbers are revised either upward or downward. That's how that works, ladies and gentlemen. So the claims in the U.S. Capitol have been rising since the start of the year. And speaking of the Capitol, sources have been telling me, my friends have been telling me in D.C. that apparently 25% of people are starting to sell their homes or get out of D.C. proper, right, and move out further out deeper into the suburbs of Virginia, further out, talking like Gainesville or way out towards 66 or way out towards the Front Range. In order to get a cheaper cost of living, because they're downsizing, because either the job is being reassigned or cut or relocated or something like that. So, but all of these cities, whether you're in DC or New York or Philadelphia, Baltimore, Chicago, or whether you're in LA, Seattle, Denver, Phoenix, the real estate is overvalued, and the jobs don't support the monthly mortgage payments, and so that's what's going on there. You and I both know that, and they're not creating jobs. We're not creating jobs, and that's the sad part about it, is that yes, okay, let's say we cut all this government spending and we cut people's government jobs or whatever the case may be. We're going to spend more money doing that, cutting everybody out that's on the federal government payroll, and there's only 2.2 million people on the federal government payroll, civilians included. And let's say we theoretically do that. But the expenditures, the expenditures, ladies and gentlemen, of the payroll itself is not going to put a dent in the $36 trillion of national debt that we owe. So what are we replacing it with? If we send all these people out including these new college graduates who are just graduating in 2025, the graduates before that in 2024, where are they going to work at? Are they going to all be absorbed into the tech, the FANG stocks, Facebook, Apple, Netflix, Google, Microsoft? I don't think so. There's not enough jobs to go around in this economy if we're all going to just start our own business and go in the private sector. It just doesn't work that way here in America. 1 in 5 Americans are doom spending. Quote, doom spending. This is a CNBC article. I thought it was interesting. Many consumers are concerned about upcoming tariffs. As you know, the tariffs are going to be feeling the tariffs probably this summer into the winter. We haven't gotten into the effects yet. It just so happens here. You see places like Costco and all these wholesale stores, all the stuff is going to be going way up at the expense of most Americans' paychecks, unfortunately. And so goods and services are going up. They said that 19% of adults indicate they are doom spending or making impulsive purchases driven by fear and anxiety about the future, as a recent report by creditcards.com. President Donald Trump said earlier Thursday that his proposed 25% tariffs on products from Canada and Mexico will start March 4th. So we still have a little bit of time next week before this actually takes effect. But, here's the thing. We shouldn't be engaging in fear spending, but we should be engaging in strategic spending, cutting back our debt, getting more prepared, learning new skills. This is the time to do it, while things are still relatively calm. We're not into this total Mad Max scenario that everybody talks about on other YouTube channels. So that's the good news. Now the bad news is that yes, we're getting to that point where we're becoming insolvent. And Elon Musk even talked about that in the first cabinet meeting. He said, listen, either we do these cuts or we go bankrupt. So he is kind of right on that. I don't agree. I may not agree with the way he's going about doing it, but we have to, and this is going to start individually. Everybody knows that we have to individually start making these preparations, and then corporately, community had to start making these preparations. So I say invest in skills. Whether that's if you don't know how to cook, or you don't know how to hunt or fish, or you don't know how to garden, or you don't know how to fix a car or fix a tire. Learn those skills while you can, while we still have all this internet open to us, because internet could be censored. It could be taken away from us. Who knows what may happen in the future? You may not be able to go back to school physically, but you can always get on YouTube and learn a new skill. And I'm sure many of you have already done that, whether that's, like I said, hydroponic gardening, whether that's fixing a car, or whether that's fixing an appliance you've had for a long time. Instead of paying somebody $1,000, $1,200 to come in and fix it, you can, perhaps do it yourself, as long as it's safely done. And, on YouTube, they have thousands of tutorials on how to do that. I love doing that. I'm sure you guys love doing that too, because information is available to us right now in this information age. And so before AI comes in, before the robots come in, we still have the human brain that's amazingly capable of learning new things, no matter what our age, whether we're 20, 50, 70, or 90. We all can learn something every day to help combat this so-called impulse spending here. And because we spend money on the right things, we'll be at least somewhat prepared. You can't be prepared for every situation, but doing so will give you a better shot in the future. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we have going on today. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about, not tomorrow, but this weekend, we're going to be talking about more earnings reports coming in the first quarter. As this last month in the first quarter, March kicks in, look for the unemployment rate to go up in March. And we're going to see those numbers coming in probably the second week of March. And I look for it to get closer to 5% unemployment here. Not just because of the federal government cutbacks, but because the private sector also is looking to shrink their bottom line to get profitability. Because remember, they have to keep profitability for their shareholders. So let me know what you think in the comments about all of this. Thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen. God bless. To keep the faith and continue to work on yourself and work as a community with others too, wherever you may be in the United States. Take care.